Hey everybody, this is Haiku coming at you with my second experimental World of Warships replay and commentary. A couple things before we dive into tonight's conversation. Number one, I am not a World of Warships community contributor. Anything I say is not affiliated with World of Warships, and they're my opinions and my opinions alone. Number two, don't take anything I say or watch my gameplay and assume that it's good play and that watching me or listening to me will make you a better player, because it's not. Number three, listening to this replay, this commentary, requires a 2-drink minimum. I don't care what you drink, as long as you're drinking while you watch. Now this is only like 20 minutes, so I don't expect you to pound 2 drinks while you're following what's going on, but you should have something started and start your second drink before the end of this video. I'm having Yinling tonight. Budget's been kind of tight at home, and you got to cut some corners where you can, but it's all good. And that kind of dovetails into what we're going to talk to, which is managing money in World of Warships. Just the other day I was kind of going through, bills and stuff here at the house. I'm married, I have a family, and, like anybody else, I got a lot of bills to pay, and computer gaming is one of those luxuries you kind of have. By the way, that's Zoop over there. I'm going to start making a run on him. He's in the Puerto Rico, so that's a test ship, so it's going to be kind of curious to see what happens here.
Approaching target.
Boom. Yeah, that was nice.
Taking fire.
Anyways, getting back to the topic at hand. So, I run all my transactions for World of Warships through PayPal, and I was able to kind of go through and look at the last 3 years of things that I've charged, and I realized that over the last 3 years, I've spent, like $25 a month on World of Warships, which I think is a lot of money. That's not what I'm used to spending. For most of my gaming career, and this is going back to the early 2000s, I was playing like Half-Life games and Half-Life mods where, you bought the game up front and you can just hop on public servers and play. If you're ambitious or if you had a clan, you might go in, you might get yourselves a server, and, you spread that cost around your bros. So that, really you're just spending a couple dollars a month on the game. So, World of Warships was a big wake-up call to me. But I come from a Navy background, and, I like the game. Whether you're good at the game or not, you like the history and the nostalgia with the ships and everything. It's a lot of fun. And it makes it worth spending, a little extra money on it. Now the question is how much money you should be spending, and that really comes down to what do you want to get out of it. Ooh, so I got one torpedo in on Zoop, and he knows I'm coming back, but he's not maneuvering. In fact, at this point he's actually turning back into me, which is nice. So I'm going to get some more torps in on him.
Taking fire.
With World of Warships, what I found out is, the difference between an average player and a good player is not so much your hand-eye coordination with the mouse and the keyboard. Unlike a game like Counter-Strike, where you're playing that game and, maybe you're somebody in your 30s or 40s, you're playing against kids who are in their teens, and their hand-eye coordination, it just trumps whatever you can do yourself with your mouse and your eyes. It's just a fact of life. It's just a part of growing old. It's nothing to be ashamed about. And in those games, you're really just playing, you jump into a Counter-Strike match, you have your skin, You pick your weapons based on the money your team's earned, and you just go at it. World of Warships is a very different kind of game. In that, and I've heard this from other people that it's basically a browser-based arcade game. It is, and it's a slow-moving game in general. So your ability to manipulate the mouse, your hand-eye coordination, it's not as critical as it is to a first-person shooter, which is kind of an appeal to it because you can be an older guy and you can still have fun with it, and because of the pace of the action, you can compete on par with people who are younger and who have like sharper synapses in their brain and that kind of shit. However, you have this whole thing with money in the game, and the money that in the game is based on how much either time you spend in the game or how much you're willing to shell out of your pocket in order to make up that money deficit, in order to build your captains, to improve your ships, and do things like buy signals and stuff, which can help you while you're playing. So that's a lot to take in, especially when you're a new player. Now, what I would suggest, if you're a new player, if you're going to spend money on the game, you should get a premium account, which is going to work out to be like, not $8 to $9 a month if you pay up front for a year. And I say that because the bonuses you get from being a premium player are really important for farming not only XP but farming credits. And credits are a big deal because credits give you the ability to upgrade modules on ships. They give you the ability to buy signals that can improve your match gameplay. You can also, use those credits for, other things. You can, obviously use them for, buying ships and stuff as you earn XP. And that would be the other thing I would suggest, is that if you're new to the game, don't do what I did, which is when I started playing at that time, back in 2016, you basically had lines for the American. You had 3 lines for the Americans: destroyer, cruiser, battleship. You had lines for the Japanese, and you had lines for the Germans. And that's what you had. You did have a couple premium ships that you could buy, but there wasn't a lot. It's not like it is today. And looking back at it, the problem that I had was that I would do a match, I would, my ship would die, and I would jump to another ship in an adjacent line. So I might do a battleship, boom, match is over, jump over to the cruiser, boom, jump over to the destroyer. And actually I would work round robin between the American, Japanese, and German lines. And while that gives you the opportunity to, build up your ship inventory, that kind of dilutes your ability to raise high point captains. And the problem there is that you get to a point where you start to realize, geez, all these other guys in the same ships are doing so much better than me, and a lot of the time it's because they have a higher point captain which can buff their ship. And when you're working on like 6 or 9 lines of ships at a time, while over time you're bringing a lot of captains up, it's better probably, I think, to work on just a couple lines of ships, progressively tearing up your captains so that you can get to a point where you have a 19-point captain fairly early on. And that's important because then once you have that 19-point captain, all the XP you earn is that premium captain XP that you can apply to other captains. So that's a pitfall that you guys should probably avoid, because what happened to me is I would end up spending a lot of money to buy doubloons to, basically, tier up my captains and stuff, and that gets expensive over time because even though you might be playing the game, for the history and stuff, at the end of the day, all of us want to be able to put on a good show and play well and show other people that that we can be helpful to the team. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to take in.
Engaging
I
enemy.
kind of wish that World of Warships, instead of
Returning to ship.
doing stuff like releasing all these premium ships for exorbitant amounts of money like that Friesland, I mean, just to get the ship, it's like $77, and they offer these packages that are over $100. That's a lot of money to be spending. I kind of think that,
Fighter airborne.
and I don't know what the economics are for them and their profit model and stuff and how they do money wise, but I think I would really prefer that World of Warships have a model where maybe you play the game the first 30 days for free, and then after that it's like $5.95 or $6.95 or $7.95 a month for everybody, and then still have the premium ships and everything,
We're
but
under attack.
offer them at a much lower price.
Approaching target.
I don't know the percentage of people who actually have premium accounts. I know from the clan that I'm in that I think that the majority of the players do try to play it for free. And that's okay and everything, but what ends up happening is that
Taking
for the
fire.
people who are really into it, who really love the game, they end up spending a excess amount of the money to kind of like carry all the other people who are just like playing for free. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I do know that they're spending all this time churning out all this
Fighter
content
airborne.
for tier 8, 9, and 10 premium surface ships. I really wish they would have at least one tier 10 premium carrier, because with the way that it is, going from tier 6 to tier 8 to tier
Taking
10,
fire.
you spend a lot of time grinding. And when you don't have a lot of time to play the game, like I do, that makes it really hard. This replay is from Sunday, from yesterday, and that was a rare day when I had enough time to, throughout the course of the day, I was able to get to like 10 matches in. And that's kind of unusual. I mean, usually during the week, if I do 1 to 3 matches, that's probably lucky, just considering all the things you got to get done in your real life and everything. But, having said all that, I still think that, if you're going to spend money on the game, get the premium account, because that's going to boost your XP and your credit farming like 50%, which is pretty big, I think. And then, if you're the kind of person, if you can spend 1 to 3 nights a week where you can do like 3 to 4 matches, in a week you should be able to farm about 1,000 credits, or excuse me, about 1 million credits. So, if you think about it over a month, you can have let's see here, about 1 million a week. Well, if you do, let's say if you do like 250,000 a night, so over 5, you should be able to farm about 1 million credits per week. And, over time that starts to add up. If you're working just a few ship lines, then you can build up a war chest, and then you can start doing things like, buying good signals and stuff, which will help your gameplay. So, anyways, that's about it. This match is wrapped up. We did lose But I'm looking at the detailed report, and I played much. First of all, I finished in the top 5, so that's cool. And then secondly, I played much better than their enemy carrier. So in my book, that was a good match. But anyways, let me know if you like this commentary. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think about spending money on World of Warships and how you manage money. So peace out, and we'll talk to you again.